Welcome back to the second half of the Bobby Dupre Show and my sidekick, Andrew.
Good morning.
We had a nice little first half hour, but we have a lot of good things to talk about. And I want to first finish on the Joe Elder death and the funeral services. And what I wanted to mention was, as I met his children, they asked me how was Andre, my niece, Andre Dupre. She was married to Joe Jr. For a period of time. And then I said, well, she's doing well. She's still in education in the Lafayette area. And they said, well, what about Jonas and Nina? That really made me feel good. I said, they're doing well.
Her two kids.
Yeah, her two kids. They're both doing well. And
well, you had gone to his wedding Jonas's wedding in Norway. Norway? Yeah.
Nina's wedding.
Nina's wedding.
Nina's wedding. That's correct. And Robert, she married Robert.
Right, that's it.
And anyhow, it was a real nice evening. I also met, that would be his nephew, Donald Elder's son, Mark Elder. He, quite a comedian, had all kind of little jokes, had us all laughing. And then they had a big, large gathering of the elders and the children and everybody else.
Frankie,
all of them on the dining side. And I'm sure they passed a good time. So I asked Tina, I said, well, after the funeral, did y'all go have another little gathering at Al Mafu's Red River Grill? She said, we sure did. And she says that Joe left the message that was going to be the last big meal he was paying for.
Very good.
So they celebrated his life. They celebrated his life. That's correct. You're seeing more and more of that. You remember last week I spoke about the celebration of life of Jack Egenaga Sr. Right.
How about Benny's Supermarket? Man, I saw the big pink ad celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I guess. I was going to say week, but I think it's a whole month now. Go by Mr. Benny's. He got all kind of great food there. They've got the meat department with all that meat already pre-seasoned, pre-stuffed, ready to rock and roll for you. They got the imported beers in the back right corner. When you go in there, you can build your own six-pack. They've got a great wine selection and beer selection with the prices the lowest the law will allow. Little Benny's Sports Shack for nutritional supplemental needs. Sell those smoothies. If you want to just get a little, you don't have time for a full meal, but you want something nutritious, a little fruit in it maybe. You can go there and get something that'll take care of you. And of course, they got the deli open 7 days a week with good home-style cooking, or a salad is available too if you're watching your intake. And don't forget about the catering. They do catering as well. That's Benny's. What you got?
A couple more deaths.
Go ahead.
Beverly Leger Rivette Fontenot. She was a Leger before she marriage, and then she had married Adam Rivette. Adam Rivette was a classmate of ours at Opelousas High School, so I had met Beverly before. She's actually a sister to Ronnie Leger, and Pat Doucette Leger. I was able to visit, met a couple of her kids, and also, fortunately, Ronnie was there when I went and paid my respects. My very deepest sympathies to Miss Rivette Fontenot. And then Mr. Ferdy Curville, Ferdinand, better known as Ferdy Curville. He was 84 years old. I knew him and his wife of many years, 49 and a half years, Lucy. And I saw him quite a while when Mike Touchette was doing the dirt work, service he had for years here in Opelousas. Ferdy had a little small 5-yard dump truck, and he would get those little small orders to deliver just if person just needed a few yards of it. And so I'd see him all the time. Real nice person. And I noticed that one of his sisters that was deceased, he was the last living one of the Curville kids in that family, was Ms. Hazel Bolera. And yesterday afternoon when I stopped by the Elks, I saw Jimmy. I said, Jimmy, when is the funeral going to be? He said, Bobby, we just buried Uncle Ferdy. And so I really felt bad because I knew Ferdy and I know his wife Lucy, so I apologize to you all. It was my intention to go by and visit with you all, but my sympathies. And yep, I mentioned about Jimmy here. You
How
want
about
another?
a couple sponsors?
Okay.
Steamboat Warehouse. Get mama away from the smell of her own cooking. Go to Washington, Louisiana, to Steamboat Warehouse, the old building made with the cypress beams. Just a beautiful building with all sorts of antiques and historical
1820s.
things. 1825, I think is what they say. In there, all kind of antiques. You can enjoy yourself just going around. It's a museum in itself, but go and enjoy the food because the works of art are served every night by chef owner Jason Hugay with fresh Louisiana ingredients. He's a creative guy. He's always involved with all these different charity events that you and I are involved with, the Breakfast with Santa and everything.
He's kind of taking that over now that Frankie
kind of our
stepped on the
lead
side.
guy, exactly. So go by the Steamboat,
But don't
try
forget to
steaks
invite
and
Frankie
seafood.
to that lunch.
We always do. That's correct. And I think he's more in town now. He'd been out of town working in North Louisiana at some of their lumber things for a while. But Dixie Storage, all your storage needs, personal and commercial. Dixie Storage can help you if you're trying to just keep a few little things, little pieces of furniture. Maybe you're trying to put your RV, your boat. They got all that where you can plug them in. High security, well locked, good concrete, that nice tall fence with that special stuff on top to make sure they don't get in. That's right. They don't steal your horse out of it. They take care of it. It's nice and clean.
Talking about a horse.
Well taken care of.
Seven horses
Stole a couple of horses recently.
Teenagers just cutting up.
That's
it's
right.
a shame they're going to get themselves in
a lot of trouble. But Dixie Storage, don't worry about them stealing your stuff. They're good, high security, well lit. They've got A+ glass. Is their sister company with a location here in Opelousas and in Lafayette. They can do commercial glass for you. They can do your inspections for your car. Go by and see them. How about one more? I'm going to sneak another one in while I got you. How about LHC Group? All your home health care needs. LHC Group can help you, whether it's the therapist that got to go to your house or the nurses that got to go to your house. Maybe it's that lift chair. Maybe it's that special hospital bed, those oxygen type things, those special machines that monitor you. They've got all that at Louisiana Healthcare Group with locations throughout the United States. They've also got here in town hospice and palliative care. They've got the Health and Wellness Center right here on Heather Drive as well if you want to join that health club to get yourself in shape so you don't need nobody to go to your house for a while. You want to put that off as long as you can. They help you stay healthy. Louisiana Healthcare Group, all about helping people. Now go ahead.
Okay. I have another death here.
That's a big one.
They said the gentle giant has died. And of course, they're speaking of Mr. Wayne Gilmore. And I've often thought of him, not those particular words, but how quiet he always was involved with everything, but I don't know, he just had a way about getting around and accomplishing. He accomplished many accomplishments during his lifetime, and one of them, of course, was he was one of the founding fathers of the Opelousas Cerebral Palsy Clinic.
Correct.
And was there as long as his health, in fact, this will be the first one he's going to miss.
Right.
His daughter Carla saw me. I went to the wake on Wednesday morning early and visited with the family. And I just, you know, he accomplished so much. We're just going to say that he had a full life.
And of course, the Opelousas General Health System. I mean, it's the other big thing that impacts
39 years, I think. We'll say 40 years.
And the bank.
And First Federal Savings and Loan. I got a little story real quick.
Go ahead.
Mr. Bobby Tomlinson, at that time, you could be the president of a bank and of a savings and loan. And the savings and loan was right to the rear of the St. Landry Bank in its own building and everything. And Mr. Bobby called me into his office one day and he offered, I was just going into business, and he offered me a position at First Federal. He said, I think you'd be a good fit there. You could learn the business, and when Mr. Gilmore retires, you could move up into to the presidency.
What year was that?
That was in about 1960, 61. I had just gone into business.
And Mr. Gilmore, I don't know if he ever retired.
Well,
you'd still be waiting.
He retired, but he still had his office. They sold the firm to Tesh Federal out of Lafayette, New Iberia, New Iberia, I guess it is, and they sold the bank. The bank bought it, but they kept it, and he stayed on for a good while. And until he died, he still had an office there that they provided him. And
still in the saddle at the end.
Oh yes, so I'd still be under Mr. under Mr. Gilmore. Thank God I decided to go into business for myself, and God, I like to always put the real make of why my success, and it's God chose me to do a lot of things, and that's why I try to stay involved and help others as much as I can.
You realize that man was telling you he was going to retire, and it was 50 years ago. 50, and it never happened.
Never happened.
Never pulled the plug.
The Opelousas Museum here in Opelousas features J.S. Clark exhibit, and they are holding an all-class reunion. You know, that's what ABW was talking about. They're doing that.
They're working on that.
All-class reunion, October 21st to the 23rd. That is this weekend. This weekend,
yes,
Friday,
sir.
Saturday, and Sunday.
That's correct.
They have a full agenda of features going on, and of course, I'm sure that the members have all been invited. It's hard.
If you want to call somebody, you can call Charles Reno at 945-1485 if you're trying to get involved and
ask a question.
He'll line you up with what you got to do to participate.
And the Clark High boxing squad is preparing swiftly for opening of its 1955 season, March the 3rd in Clark Gym.
Now, that's a photo from the old Daily World.
From the old Daily World. And my question is, and a copy of this picture was given to me by Ryan Sastry. I spoke about him earlier, and I mentioned that I had a picture he had given me because he knows I'm very interested in boxing. And I just wonder if that's J.S. Clark. I never knew that they had a boxing club. In '58, all the boxing across the state in high school, it stopped, and then it went more into amateur boxing, golden gloves and those type of events. But it's very interesting. If anybody out there can verify that this is J.S. Clark High, please let me know, and I'd be happy to learn and report back on our finding over here. And we hope y'all had a good, safe weekend here back in Opelousas. Many of course, their graduates are out of town.
Right.
And this kind of gives me a chance to mention to the people coming into town, if you're needing a hotel room, I got this real nice picture here of Crazy Horse Memorial, and Mr. Jim Bervin, who is our friend from South Dakota, sent me a picture of he and his friends that were invited by Miss Ruth, and I can't pronounce the name.
Zilkowski.
Zilkowski.
That's the sculptor family.
That's correct. She's the widow of Korzak.
Right.
Kozłowski. Well, anyhow,
right.
The sculpture. She has for several years been the CEO of the project.
Since he passed away.
Yeah, it's been years and years.
And I think they got 10 kids that all participate in the project as well. I've seen some of the documentaries on it.
Beautiful picture here. I'm sorry I don't have it. Now what I have they come out pretty good. Shows pretty darn well.
KSLO, I got to see y'all on the other side at 3, but TV was still on. So.
But Mr. Jim, of course, is the gentleman who was Ramrod and who has directed all of the activities over at the Evangeline Downs Hotel. So if you're coming into town this weekend, I'd ask you to consider going by.
If you're the J.S. Clark reunion, if you're coming in for whatever
horse racing,
Gambling goes on, everything.
Everything. And the quarter horse racing is taking place Wednesday through Saturday night. That's in the evenings, and those are fun. So you might just step there. It's free. You walk downstairs, watch a few races, and then go about your activities that you have a full evening with. But Mr. Jim, thanks for the beautiful picture. We're going to frame that, and we're going to write down somewhere as who gave it to me and when they gave it to me. We fail to do that sometimes. I went by Hancock Whitney Bank. They haven't changed the signage yet.
Which way they're going to go? Is it going to be Whitney or Hancock?
No, all the Louisiana banks that were Hancock are going to be named Whitney in Louisiana. The other states,
they're going to keep Hancock.
I think it's going to be Hancock. Maybe Texas has a few Whitneys, and they may stay. They might, the others that maybe Hancock has a few there also. I think they may remain. But Louisiana is a big stronghold of where Whitney was, and of course it's a good mixture of two banks getting together and hope.